It's a lovely morning. Welcome to Prime TV News in Brief. To present it, my name is Moses Nyambe, and now we take a look at the headlines. Man found dead in a drainage in Kamwala South. Poor People's Party President Alex Myokera mobbed at City Market. MMD Youths warns Mwavi Lungu on his secret meetings with party members. A middle-aged man of Lusaka's Kamwala South area was on Tuesday discovered dead in a drainage. Circumstances leading to the man's death are not yet known, but most people suspect he could have drank himself to death. Police from Kawata Police Station only managed to pick up the body after several hours. We could like to warn our sensitive viewers that the picture you're about to see may be disturbing. We have more in the following report.
Crossed through this drainage, not realizing that there is a dead body underneath. This man was completely submerged in water, and people only discovered his remains when water levels from the heavy downpour started to reduce. When word went round that a person had died, then several community members, the old and the young, swarmed the scene to have a glance. It took several hours before officers from Kawata Police Post arrived at the scene to collect the body, as the nearest police post in the area, Maxwell Siwongo, also known as Kamwala South Police Post, has no transport and other supporting facilities at their disposal. By broadcast time, no concrete evidence was on hand to what could have led to the death of the man, but those who seem to have known him suspected that he could have gotten drunk and drowned in the rainwater. Whether the man was murdered or died as a result of heavy drinking, no one knows yet. Kalan Mchima, reporting for Prime TV News in Lusaka.
And now, after failing to fill in his nomination, Poor People's Party President Alex Myokera has continued to draw attention. Mr. Myokera was on Wednesday mobbed by many people at Lusaka City Market who wanted to catch a glimpse of him. Mr. Myokera had a tough time getting through a huge mob as he was passing through the market on his way to board a bus. Mr. Myokera has made headlines for his strong brief on eradicating poverty given a chance that he wins an election. Daniel Tonga brings us this report.
Despite several attempts to contest the presidential election, Poor People's Party President Alex Myokera has continued to draw wide attention. Myokera, having died 3 times, which he accepted even on Prime TV's Daybreak program, his reasoning has raised eyebrows to many people. Despite his illogical political arguments and aspirations, Myokera has continued to attract wide attention. Just today, he was mobbed by people at City Market as he was trying to board a bus, and many people flocked to hear him speak. A poor man with strong belief to uplift the standards of the poor, Myokera causes laughter everywhere he goes. His political philosophy, though irrational and ambiguous, has made him attractive everywhere he goes. This attention that he draws, will Zambians one day make him president? Probably an opinion poll on this would help. Reporting for Prime TV News, Daniel Tonga, Lusaka.
Welcome back. Movement for Multi-Party Democrats MMD Lusaka Provincial Youth Secretary Eddie Shamambe has warned former MMD National Secretary Muhabi Lungu and his team to stop having illegal meetings to resolve issues of the MMD. Mr. Shamambe says it is clear that the Supreme Court passed a ruling and Dr. Nevas Mumba is the party president. He says it is illegal that suspended Secretary General Muhabi Lungu has continued having private meetings aiming at dividing the party. Mr. Shamambe says all members of the MMD who are supporting other candidates must return to the MMD or resign from their positions. Mr. Shamambe has further said that come 20th January 2015, their president Nevas Mumba who will win the elections. We have more in the following report.
Brothers that have been misled continuously by the Muhabi Lungu function and the Madame Sinyangwe, Faustina Sinyangwe, as regarding a function. We do believe that there's been a decision that has been ruled by the Supreme Court, and now we have a president and our nominations have been done. We are warning all our members that are attending illegal meetings in the name of MMD2. The act is contentious and the law will take its course. We are asking our members to regroup, reorganize in good faith. Our doors are open. Those who are worried with their positions, we will accord them the opportunity to come back to their positions.
Welcome back, and that's all we had for you. But before we go, we look at the headlines. Man found dead in a drainage in Kamara South. Poor People's Party President Alex Miokra mobbed at Lusaka City Market. MMD youths warn Muhabi Lungu on his secret meetings with party members. This has been Moses Nyambe. I would like to wish all our esteemed viewers a happy 2015. Goodbye.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. ZESCO, powering the nation.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
In my family, we strive to be responsible in order to ensure the well-being of our family. In the same way, I encourage my family to vote because it's their responsibility to do so as citizens.
That's right. It is our responsibility to elect our leaders without influence from our families or anyone else.
You have the right to vote. Use it.
We will vote.
Will you?
Vote in the presidential election on the 20th of January 2015, starting from 06 hours to 18 hours. Carry your voters and green national registration card to be able to vote. The Electoral Commission of Zambia. Your vote, your right, your voice. Support peaceful elections.
Want to just get out of town with your friends and family? Are you having a corporate getaway and have no adequate transport? Then this here is what you need to listen to. A brand new 35-seater Yutong luxury bus is now up for hire at an affordable and negotiable rate. It comes fully equipped with aircon, TV for your relaxation, music soothing your trip, and DVD players to give you variety. Book now by calling 0955 0966 or 977 844 141.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill. Have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Your jungle.
Hello and thank you so much for staying tuned to Prime Television. My name is Martha Namanja to present the Prime Television's main news. We go straight into stories that are making headlines. Former Petaoke MP Doris Leah vows to make Edgar Lungu president. Government asked to be clear over the reinstatement of NACERS. ECZ maintains there will be no extension of voter replacement exercise. And in international news, UN predicts end of Ebola outbreak in 2015. Those are the headlines in the news. Join me shortly with the details. Thank you so much for staying tuned. And now the main news in detail. A former Petaoke Central Member of Parliament Doris Leah says her endorsement of the candidature of Patriotic Front PF President Edgar Lungu has nothing to do with seeking employment. Speaking when she featured on the Political Hour program on Breeze FM in Chipata, Ms. Celia says it was her personal conviction that she endorsed Mr. Lungu for the Republican president. She says she looks forward to the time when Zambian people give Mr. Lungu a resounding vote in the January 20th presidential election, adding that she will ensure she campaigns vigorously in order for Mr. Lungu to win the presidency. And PF presidential candidate Edgar Lungu says the January 20th presidential election is about him because he is the only major factor in the election. Mr. Lungu claimed that other candidates are failing to hold presidential debate without him because he is the only person that matters in the forthcoming polls. Freedom Fighters Front President Lamek Kamalo has condemned Chongwe Member of Parliament Sylvia Masewo over her utterances that the country does not need another funeral if PF presidential candidate Edgar Lungu becomes president. Mr. Kamalo says it is sad that Ms. Masewo has chosen to alarm the nation over her careless sentiments instead of just campaigning for her preferred candidate. He says politicians should learn to debate and speak on issue-based politics, saying personal attacks on each other will cause unnecessary alarm in the nation. He says Ms. Masewo has a questionable character herself, hence she is not the right person to issue personal attacks on anyone. Chongwe Member of Parliament Sylvia Masewo says Zambians will not risk electing into office a president with questionable health like PF candidate Edgar Lungu.
This front, I'm very disappointed to begin with the utterances, the reports that where Sylvia Masewo is saying we do not need another funeral. My question to Honorable Masewo is, are you Jehovah God who is able to, because even God does not wish anybody to die, so why wish somebody death? So as Zambians, we're not going to take kindly such careless statements. May I urge all political party players to have a level playing field and to stick to issues. Let's be issue-based. Why attacking personalities, I mean? If people were to stand up today and start talking about you, Honorable Sylvia Masewo, with your questionable past, which most people would reflect on, your record is written on the walls. You did the You were there in the other camps, you're wishing that no, maybe you take the presidency. Don't use frustration and don't use emotions. You're in a political party field that requires sobriety of mind.
Meanwhile, National Revolution Party has asked UPND Vice President for Politics, Canisius Banda, to apologize to the people of Zambia for his sentiments that the party has no confidence in the South African company printing ballot papers for the January 20th presidential election. And RP General Secretary Hector Nsondo says Dr. Banda should not be desperate and involve non-Zambians into politics that are baseless. He has further challenged Dr. Banda to apologize to the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, and Renform Company of South Africa printing the ballot papers for the fourth on unfounded allegation. UPND Vice President for Politics, Dr. Canisius Banda, said his party was privy to information that Renform Company, the company printing ballot papers, has some chemicals which will enable the voting sign to fade after some time, further warning the company to stop the alleged criminal activities because Zambians need free and fair elections.
Secretary for National Revolution Party, I'm saddened with a statement which was issued by the Vice President for UPND, who is Canisius Banda. You see, the statement which he issued, it is a statement which is alarming the nation. You see, right now people, they have lost the confidence in they have lost confidence in the people of the company which is printing the ballot paper, including the observers, the people who are there in South Africa to monitor what is happening in South Africa. So as National Revolution Party, we are calling for the Vice President of UPND, Canisius Banda, to apologize to the people of Zambia, to this nation, including to ECZ and the company which is printing those ballot paper in South Africa.
Meanwhile, Electoral Commission of Zambia Director Priscilla Isaacs says the Opposition United Party for National Development UPND Vice President for Politics, Dr. Canisius Banda, will be summoned for alleging that ballot papers meant to disadvantage his party were being printed. Speaking to journalists in Johannesburg, Ms. Isaacs said irresponsible statements by politicians have the potential to cause chaos as well as discourage people from voting. Former Zambia Congress of Trade Unions President Leonard Hikaumbas asked government to clearly state its position on the reinstatement of nurses. Mr. Hikaumbas says following government's announcement that it will reinstate all the health workers who were fired in 2013 for staging an illegal strike, nothing has been done to put them on payroll. He says if government is not clear about the move, it will be considered as a political announcement made to win voters ahead of the January 20th presidential election. Mr. Hikaumbas further called on government to consider the plight of the workers who are still unemployed. Late last year, Health Minister Dr. Joseph Kasonde told a press briefing that all the 570 nurses who were fired were free to collect their letters of re-engagement from the Ministry of Health.
The misfortune is that a good number of them have not even received the letters of reinstatement, so they are just languishing, they're still waiting. They've been to the ministry and things are not so clear as to how this reinstatement is going to be done. And there are some who are working right now at UTH, those were reinstated. But up to now, they've not yet been put on the payroll. 7 months down the line, personally, I would wish to make an appeal to government that this reinstatement should be actualized, it should be real, it should be implemented. Otherwise, if this pronouncement is not followed by implementation, then we shall take it that it's just a political pronouncement which is meant to clear government's image in the eyes of the people.
Chief Tenes Mwenda of the Tonga-speaking people of Chikankata district has condemned traditional leaders endorsing some presidential candidates ahead of the January 20th presidential election. Chief Tenes Mwenda says it is wrong for traditional leaders to impose the candidate of their choice on its people. She says politicians should be left to political leaders, but that traditional leaders should only guard their people to ensure they exercise their right to vote, but for the candidate of their choice. She has called on all well-meaning Zambians to maintain peace and order before, during and after the January 20th pause. Mambwe and Lungu chiefs from Mbala and Bulungu districts are some of the traditional leaders that have endorsed some presidential candidates in the 20th January 2015 presidential elections.
I am not going to endorse my son, but I'm a voter as well, which means that as a voter I have the right to vote. I can, if that is endorsing, yes, I've got to vote somebody who I can vote for. But I cannot go out and encourage you to vote for this political party and that political party. You have got a mind of your own, my son. I think you know who you love. So let us vote for those people we trust, that they can carry us to direct. We are there to help and we are there to encourage, but we are not there to take sides. Israel is to be bought, so there will be no buying. And even in campaigning, when you want to campaign during the last minute and cut out some of these programs, for example the program we are receiving right now.
You're watching Prime Television's menus with me, Martha Namanje. As we take a break, here are the headlines once again. Former Petauke MP Doris Leah vows to make Edgar Lungu president. Government asked to be clear over the reinstatement of nurses. ECZ maintains there will be no extension of voter replacement exercise. Join me after the break with more news.
Yeah, madam, nisiriza manze.
No problem. It's very busy here.
Yeah, your sister, pamangala busy. Since wanakuziwa kapena nzaka vota kwa presidential elections.
Huh? Don't tell me. You can't afford to miss out on your right to vote. Elections are a time for you to choose a leader of your choice.
Your boy, Susie, but voting is important.
You need to vote if you want to put a leader of your choice in power.
Oh, okay. But vamene makamba vapanga sense. Anyway, since voting doesn't maningi time. Your car is ready.
Zikomo, the car looks great. I'll bring it here again for another wash.
No problem. As long as it is not on 20th January, because I'll be voting.
Vote in the presidential election on the 20th of January 2015, starting from 06 hours to 18 hours. Carry your voters and green national registration card to be able to vote. The Electoral Commission of Zambia. Your vote, your right, your voice. Support peaceful elections.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in our newsrooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
What's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill. Have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Thank you for staying tuned. We now continue with the Prime Television's main news. Health Minister Dr. Joseph Kasonde has donated 5,000 kwacha in cash to Luana Village Rural Development Trust of Mwenda Chiefdom for the construction of a bridge in the district. Dr. Kasonde says Chikankata district as part of Zambia should also benefit from the developmental projects that are taking place in the country. He has urged the people of the district to ensure they work with the government of the day and push the developmental agenda to all parts of the country. We have more in the following report. As the country continues to see various infrastructure developmental projects, Chikankata district of Chief Mwenda of the Tonga-speaking people has little to less projects to talk about. Despite the district being one of the largest in southern province, it has poor road network and lacks proper bridges, a situation that poses a danger to villagers, especially during the rainy season. This, however, has prompted Health Minister Dr. Joseph Kasonde to visit the area so as to deliver hope to the people by donating 5,000 kwacha towards the construction of the bridge.
Most wonderful, most hardworking people. Why can you not build a bridge? And the people said to me, we shall also want some money. And I said, yes, I shall invite all those who can find some money to build a bridge. And I said, I also will contribute. Here is my contribution.
In receiving the minister, Luana villagers with some PF sympathizers could not hold back but welcomed the minister in how they saw it fit. and a human rights activist, Kavumbu Hakachima, who accompanied the minister, also gave a 1,000 kwacha and called on the villagers to work together and deliver development.
Whatever Chikankata district, the poor people in Chikankata are bigger than all of us political dreams. I'm saying that the people of Chikankata are more important than our political dreams.
Mr. Minister, sir, the Luala Bridge in the Mwenda Chiefdom, as it will be an initiative which has been started by Comrade Kahumbu and the government, is a welcome idea in the Chiefdom. Sincere thanks are extended to the government of the PF for coming up with such a brilliant initiative.
Meanwhile, Dr. Kasonde also took time to tour Chikankata Mission Hospital. During his tour, he commended the hospital for a job well done. Martha Namanje, reporting for Prime TV News, Chief Mwenda's Chiefdom, Chikankata District, Southern Province. Former Bank of Zambia Governor Dr. Caleb Fundanga says the PF government has done its best in improving the economy. Dr. Fundanga says each administration goes through various challenges, but what is worth noting is the one-digit inflation rate that the current administration has managed to maintain. He has also outlined the reduction in fuel prices as another remarkable achievement that the PF government deserves to be commended for. Dr. Fundanga was speaking to Prime TV News in Lusaka during a walk-in interview.
Challenges, okay, different. When we got there, we found a certain environment and we had to work out a way of handling those challenges. And also, I think even the new administration also will perform on the basis of how much leeway is given to them by the politicians. I can say that during our time we had a lot of goodwill from the politicians, and that helped us to do a lot. Now, I think that the current administration has done their best under the circumstances. Inflation is still not single digit. We have had the problem of the exchange rate, which also is impacting on inflation, but I would not be very clear about what exact challenges they are facing because I'm not around. Now I don't even live here, so I would be cheating. But I think most of the fundamentals they are managing to achieve them.
Some Lusaka residents have appealed to the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, to have the voter cards replacement exercise extended for another week. The exercise, which started on December 27, 2014, had closed on Saturday, 3rd January. A check by Prime TV at some of the replacement centers found residents flocking in to have their cards replaced, while at Kabwata Community Hall by 1740 hours the exercise had already closed.
Been extended, it would have been better. Because by the look of things, it has not been sensitized very well. A lot of people, like I came and then went back for my NRC. 2 or 3 people complained about the same. Meaning, I think the sensitization has not been adequate.
It would be nice and that we'll exist for about 2 or 3 days. You know, the period just too short. And maybe the monga is so that we're rushing and kuziwa kutima matani ma centers. So tukakunyumbanga kwa nini register kunyumbanga they're not there try to come to challenge. So I think we need more days.
Danos. Maybe try to extend it a bit into next week. Say maybe for 2 or 3 days into next week. So that those that didn't have the opportunity to get the information correctly, they can have the opportunity to come and but I've managed myself. There are these contradictory remarks that were made. They were saying it is free. I don't know whether it's for the rate or for the voters card, but at the end of it all, the the police report, we were paying 22 kwacha 15. Then for the voters card, it was free. So now I can imagine for those in the villages and the farmers, those, can they afford the 22 kwacha? Why didn't they waive, for example, just for this period, they waive the 22 kwacha 15 up to the time that we are done with the elections, so that those that are already on the register and they cannot afford the 22 kwacha 15 can be afforded the opportunity to register and vote. So
Meanwhile, Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has maintained that the commission will not extend the voter replacement exercise. In a telephone interview with Prime TV, ECZ Public Relations Manager Chris Akfuna says people are given enough time to have their voters' card replaced. He says the commission will not be held accountable if people did not manage to get to the replacement centers, adding that there was enough publicity and sensitization over the replacement exercise. He has, however, maintained that those that were charged for the police report should take the case to the police. But efforts to get a comment from police spokesperson Charity Munganga over allegations that some police stations were charging for police report proved futile by broadcast time as a phone went unanswered. Okay, then I just want to maybe to clarify one thing. We are just doing a round check on the different stations, and apparently some are being charged for police reports. Maybe I just wanted to find out from you, are they supposed to be free or they are supposed to be charged?
Police reports are supposed to be free. You can confirm that with Zambia Police Public Relations. They made a statement to that effect. The problem with sensitization, if messages on radio, if messages on TV, if messages were in the newspaper, I don't know what else then we should have done. Because we've been announcing this even before the exercise started.
Patriotic Front PF President Edgar Lungu has condemned recent attacks of violence in Shiwangandu. Speaking in Pika when he met chiefs at Ichengelo Guest House, Mr. Lungu called for peaceful campaigns and peaceful elections. He says President Michael Sata always urged supporters to act with a lot of restraint, even under extreme provocation. Hence, diverse views and choices people make should always be respected. Yesterday, suspected PF cadres attacked a helicopter carrying the UPND campaign team in Shiwangandu. In the helicopter were former First Lady Maureen Mwanawasa, UPND National Chairperson Mutalena Lumango, MMD Lute, PMP Felix Mtati, PF Kasama Central MP Geoffrey Waliamwamba, and Lubansenshi Independent Member of Parliament Patrick Mcheleka. A former MMD Lusaka Province Task Force Chairperson Maimisa Chiwele and other UPND members have defected to the ruling Patriotic Front. Speaking at the PF Lusaka Central District Office, Maimisa Chiwele and Sundan Kunika from the UPND say they have decided to join the PF due to its developmental agenda. They have commended the PF for its effort towards bettering the lives of the majority Zambians. And in welcoming the defectors, PF Lusaka District Secretary Captain Devson Mlenga says the PF is a party of all Zambians and is open to all individuals wanting to rally behind the party president, Edgar Lungu. Meanwhile, PF Lusaka District Vice Chairman says the PF is the only party that has brought about development in a short period of being in power.
This has been one of my easiest decisions to make in life, to move from MMD to PF. I'll give you very few reasons, maybe one or two reasons. I saw no reason to go out in the field and campaign against PF because for me, I had nothing to tell the people. How do I go and tell the people that PF is not working when people are seeing for themselves?
Nachokamu mujanotwa zinipatikiza because you've seen. We work in isolation kuli bantu basankana kusebenza. Uzadoba bantu bwino you pick them correctly, bring them closer. but at the end of the day atenga one family dia bwenda kuntango
president satabafwire badi babisa that's why we let him pack up piano movie iyo we wanted whoever was capable to deliver and there is Edgar Rungu put as our presidential candidate.
They have seen the work PF has been doing in the last 3 years. In the last 3 years, we have done what MMD did in 20 years. In fact, more than what MMD did in 20 years. Therefore, we are welcoming you with a wholeheartedly. You are all our members now.
You're still watching Prime Television's Main News. Join me after the break with a roundup of international news.
Have you lost your voter's card? Is your voter's card defaced or damaged? If so, you can replace your voter's card during the voter's card replacement exercise from the 28th of December 2014 to the 3rd of January 2015. During this exercise, 4 rural centers will be opened in every rural constituency and 3 centers will be opened in every urban constituency. Voters who have lost their cards will need to present a police report and their green national registration card in order to collect a new voter's card. Voters whose cards are defaced or damaged will have to produce the damaged card and their green national registration card before a new card can be issued to them. During this exercise, no new voters will be registered and no transfers will be effected for voters that have moved to a different location. Furthermore, the Commission will not extend the voter card replacement exercise beyond January the 3rd, 2015.
For further information, contact the office of the district electoral officer in your respective districts who are town clerks and council secretaries. Vote in the presidential election on the 20th of January 2015 starting from 06 hours to 18 hours. Carry your voters and green national registration card to be able to vote. The Electoral Commission of Zambia. Your vote, your right, your voice. Support peaceful elections.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
And now in international news, outgoing chief of the United Nations Anti-Ebola Mission has voiced hope that global efforts would put an end to the outbreak of the deadly virus in West Africa by the end of 2015. Anthony Bernberg told reporters on Friday that 2015 would see the eradication of the epidemic that has struck 6 West African nations, with Guinea, Sierra Leone and Liberia bearing the brunt of the 20,000 infections and nearly 8,000 5,000 deaths. Faced with criticism the world was not doing enough, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon set up the UN Ebola Emergency Response Mission in September to coordinate global efforts against the outbreak first identified in Guinea's remote southeast in early 2014. 6 other countries, including Nigeria, Senegal, Mali, the United States, Spain, and Britain, have reported cases imported from West-affected countries. The United States has imposed first sanctions on North Korea in revenge for a cyber attack on Hollywood studio Sony Pictures blamed on Pyongyang. In an exclusive order on Friday, U.S. President Barack Obama authorized the U.S. Treasury to place on its blacklist 3 top North Korean intelligence and armed operations, as well as 10 government officials, most of them involved in Pyongyang's arms exports. Obama said he ordered the sanctions because of the provocative destabilization and representative actions and policies of the government of North Korea, including its destructive, coercive cyber-related actions against November and December 2014. These sanctions came after cyber attackers Sony's computers in late November, stealing and releasing over the internet employee information and released films and embarrassing emails between 2 company executives. Pyongyang repeatedly denied involvement but has applauded the action of the Shodi Guards on Peace group. For more on these and other stories, we now monitored Al Jazeera.
The United States has suggested the Palestinian Authority may lose U.S. aid if it joins the International Criminal Court. The Palestinian ambassador to the UN has formally handed in the documents for membership. Israel is also opposed to ICC membership, which could allow for Palestinians to pursue war crimes charges against Israelis. The United States has imposed more economic sanctions against North Korea over last month's cyber attack on Sony Pictures. The Obama administration insists North Korea was to blame, but Pyongyang denies involvement. The cyber attack is believed to have been in retaliation for Sony's film called The Interview. It's a comedy about an assassination plot against the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Indonesian search teams think they may have found 2 large pieces of wreckage from the Air Asia plane crash. It's being described as 2 big objects which have been spotted 30 metres below the sea. It's hoped the black box flight recorders will also be found soon. 162 passengers and crew were killed when the Airbus crashed during severe thunderstorms last Sunday. The UN says the Ebola outbreak in West Africa could be over by the end of 2015. The UN missed its December target to stop the spread of Ebola, but the outgoing chief of its anti-Ebola mission, based in Ghana, remains optimistic.
With that international roundup, we come to the end of the news. But just before we go, here are the headlines again. Former Petauke MP Doris Leah vows to make Edgar Lungu president. Government asked to be clear over the reinstatement of nurses. ECZ maintains there will be no extension of voter replacement exercise. And finally, in international news, UN predicts end of Ebola outbreak in 2015. That's all we heard on our main news bulletin. Thank you so much for your time. My name is Martha Namanje, and on behalf of the entire news production team, it's goodbye for now and God bless.
Hi, I was just checking up some information on the Electoral Commission of Zambia website. Did you know that the Electoral Commission of Zambia has set January 20th, 2015 as the date for the presidential election? Remember that in order to vote, you'll need your green national registration card and your voter's card. Voting is the constitutional right of every Zambian citizen. Exercise your right by voting for the presidential candidate of your choice on January 20th, 2015.
Vote in the presidential election on the 20th of January 2015, starting from 06 hours to 18 hours. Carry your voters and green national registration card to be able to vote. The Electoral Commission of Zambia. Your vote, your right, your voice. Support peaceful elections.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.